Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day everyone. My name is Jopia Matawil and I am your reporter today. So let me explain to you about my assigned topic, which is the parenting. Today I am presenting about parenting. Let me explain to you what is parenting. So before we proceed to the definition or the explanation of parenting, let me introduce to you about the 4 parenting styles. What are those? The first one is authoritative parenting. Second one is authoritarian parenting. The third one is permissive parenting. And the last one is the uninvolved parenting. So, let me explain to you what is parenting. What is parenting? Parenting styles refers to the how of parenting, that is, how parents interact, discipline, communicate, and respond to the behavior of a child while socializing the child into their group. So, when I say parenting, ito yung paano tayo dinisiplina ng ating mga magulang at paano makipagsalamuha sa ibang tao with a good manner, and paano makipag-usap sa kanila ng masinsinan at with respect, and respond to the behavior of a child while socializing the child into the group. So, tinuturuan tayo ng parents natin paano maging good person or how to be a good to others. So, ang parenting is hindi lang yan sa pagdidisiplina, kundi ma-apply din natin yung parenting style na ipinaparamdam sa atin ng ating mga magulang. What is parenting? Parenting styles refers to the how parenting, that is, how parents interact with their children, how to discipline their children, how to communicate with their children, and how to respond to the behavior of a child while socializing the child into their group. So, ang una-una talaga is how parents interact with their child. So, for me, ang example ko dito is how parents interact with their child is yung paano makipag-interact yung parents ko sa akin is dinidisiplina nila ako in terms of a good way, and nakikipag-interact sila sa akin in a good manner, and tinutuan din nila ako paano makipag-communicate sa tao. Like, halimbawa, ang kakausapin kong tao is malaking tao, halimbawa like president or teachers or something, mga parents or something visitors na hindi ko kilala, is something like dapat makipag-usap daw is formal makipag-usap sa tao, lalo na pag yung nasa mataas na posisyon, kasi dapat irespeto mo yung tao na kung paano ito ay deserve nila. So, deserve naman talaga na irespeto natin. Deserve naman ng mga tao na irespeto natin sila in a good way. So, ang respeto kasi is hindi yan siya hinihingi, kasi ang respeto is kusayang siyang binibigay. So, kung ire-respeto mo yung kapwa mo tao, according to my parents, is ire-respeto ka din ng iba. Hindi man sa taong yun, pero sa ibang tao. In terms of discipline naman, dinidisiplina ako ng parents ko kung paano maging malinis, paano maggawa ng good thing, and they are guiding me as their daughter. They are guiding me na parang binibigay nila lahat para lang mabigay yung disiplina na para sa amin na kanilang mga anak. And then in terms of parents to parents na communication is pinagsasabihan kami dyan na kung parents conversation yan, bawal kaming mahihimasok. And then dapat kung parents to parents conversation yan, hindi kami dapat dyan mag-interact or something, mag-add ng mga additional thing na kung hindi kami tatanungin or kung hindi kami papasalihin sa conversation na yun, kasi that is very informal kung makikisali ka sa usapang matatanda daw, sabi ng parents ko. And that is the very highlight example of mine in this report. The next one is about authoritarian parenting. And in this style of parenting, children are expected to follow the strict rules established by parents, and failure to follow your parents' rules usually results in a punishment or consequences of some sort. So, ang authoritarian parenting is about siya sa parents na ginaguide nila ng maayos ang kanilang ang mga anak, and then dapat ipa-follow mo yung rules ng parents mo kasi para daw hindi ka bigyan ng punishment. So sa authoritarian parenting, ito lang yung disadvantage dito na disadvantage na parenting style is, halimbawa yung child nakakommit siya ng mistake, is hindi na yan siya tatanungin ng parents kung ano ba talaga ang dahilan, ano yung cause niya or something, ano yung saan nagsimula. Kasi sa authoritarian parenting, diretso na siya kung ma-violate ang rules ng parent na yon, specific parent na yon, is diretso na siya pinapanish ang anak niya without questioning, without criticizing the problem or the situation itself, no. So disadvantage talaga siya kasi hindi na voice out ng bata kung ano yung totoong pangyayari. Mga the children of authoritarian parents, negative effects in this parenting is, the first one is act fearful or overly shy around others. So dito na part is maaapektuhan talaga yung mental health ng bata kasi matatakot siya gawin ang gusto niyang gawin, like maybe na yung freedom niya kasi ang iniisip niya yung rules ng parents niya. So magko-cause siya ng introvert. Ito yung ibang dahilan kung bakit naging introvert yung mga bata. The next one is associate obedience and success with love. So, dito sa parenting style na to, nabibigay naman lahat ng full of love. Nagbibigay naman ng parents ang kanilang love, and then maayos na pagdidisiplina, and then maayos na communication. Yun lang yung mali talaga doon, no. Hindi na pinapakinggan ng parents yung side ng anak niya kasi diretso na siya pinapunish. Conform easily. The third one is conform easily yet also experience depression and anxiety. So one of the causes of anxiety and depression nowadays, no, yung parenting style ng na face nila every day. Kasi yung may parents din kasi na like yun nga, authoritarian, hindi na nakikinig sa side ng anak niya, and then yun yung nagiging dahilan kung bakit nagde-depress yung mga bata, nagkakaroon ng anxiety, nagiging introvert, nahihiya or natatakot sila makakommit ng mistake dahil nga sa rules and punishment na mape-face nila sa kanilang parents. What is authoritative parenting? Like authoritain parents have rules and guidelines that their children are expected to follow, but they are far more flexible and democratic. So, parang same lang yung parenting style ng authoritative and authoritarian. So, ang pagkakaiba lang is, ang authoritative is nabibigyan yung bata ng pagkakataon na ma-voice out or mabibigyan niya yung side niya bago siya bigyan na or bago siya i-punish kung makakakommit siya ng mistake. And then, authoritative parents have rules and guidelines that their children are expected to follow. Meron din silang guidelines and rules na ina-expect nilang i-follow ng kanilang mga anak in order for their child na madisiplina ng maayos at gumawa ng gumawa ng good things or tamang gawain, yeah. And then dito sa parenting style na authoritative, pinipili nilang maging friendly sa kanilang mga anak para magkaroon ng good relationship sa kanilang mga anak. And then yun lang. The next one is effects. What is the effects of authoritative parenting on the children? This for the parents, this is one of the best styles of parenting and where I help parents the most when I work with them. So ito talaga yung best parenting style sa lahat kasi bukod sa magiging friendly sila sa kanilang anak, magagawa pa nila yung responsibility nila bilang isang parents, bilang isang mga magulang, and then na-maintain yung good relationship between parents and the children. So the impact of this is, do any of these statements sounds like you put a lot of effort. You put a lot of effort in creating and maintaining a positive relationship with your child. Yes, yun nga, tama yung sinabi ko na na-maintain yung good relationship or positive relationship between parents and children kasi nakikinig or pinapaliwanag ng mga magulang kung ano yung mga consequences ng kanilang mga gagawin or makakasama ba ito or makakabuti, and then they are willing to answer the questions of their child rather than na magalit sila. Yes, and then you explain the reasons behind your rules. Yes, yun nga yung sinabi ko. Ine-explain ng mga magulang kung ano yung magiging result ng kanilang mga maling gawain. And then the next one is you enforce rules, give consequences, but take your child's feelings into considerations. Yeah, yun nga, binibigyan ng consideration ng mga magulang dito sa parenting na to, binibigyan nila ng consideration ang kanilang mga anak in order for them na magka-create ng good relationship sa kanilang mga anak. Third one is, what is permissive parenting? Permissive parenting is a type of parenting style characterized by low demands, with high responsiveness. Permissive parents tend to be very loving, yet provide few guidelines and rules, and are sometimes referred to as indulgent parents who make very few demands on their kids. So, permissive parenting, no? Yun nga, low demands, high responsiveness. Hindi sila nag-demand sa mga kakayahan ng kanilang mga anak. And then, responsible naman, very responsive to ng mga parents. Ang example ko dito is yung mga mayayaman. Kasi sa sobrang nila, sa sobrang care nila sa anak nila na magbigay yung lahat ng pangangailangan ng kanilang anak, mas pipiliin nila yung trabaho nila. So, wala nang interaction masyado na mangyayari between parents and children. And then, low demands naman, about sa low demands, hindi nila pinipressure yung kanilang mga anak sa mga, like for example, let's say for example, sa school. Hindi nila ipo-force yung anak nila kung halimbawa sa mga exams, activities, quizzes, hindi nila i-pressure yung mga anak nila kung ito lang yung nakuha, ito lang yung kaya ng kanilang anak. So, nabibigyan ng freedom yung mga bata na gawin yung kanilang gusto, and then may mga causes or consequences na hindi magandang mangyayari sa mga bata during this parenting style, which is the permissive parenting. Impact nito sa children is as their children's opinions on major decisions. Yun nga, binibigyan nila ng karapatan yung mga anak nila na gawin yung kanilang major decisions in life, rather than mag-strict pa sila. Hindi sila nag-strict dito. Binibigay nila yung freedom ng kanilang mga anak. The next one is emphasize their children freedom rather than responsibility. So instead of i-pressure nila yung anak nila, binibigyan nila ng peace of mind in terms of pressuring yung kanilang anak. The next one is have few rules or standard of behavior. Any rules they do have are inconsistent. So, yung rules ng parenting style nila is yun nga, konting interaction lang sa kanilang anak. And then, magiging cause nito is pwedeng may mangyari sa anak. Like, for example ko na lang is early pregnancy. Ang early pregnancy or yung mga children na nagiging drug addicted or something alcoholic or something sa mga racket man dyan, or nagpupunta sa bar, umiinom, alcoholic nga. Yun yung mga consequences ng parenting style na ito. So, kalain kayo, no? Kung hindi ma-guide yung bata or yung children ng maayos, yun yung pwedeng maging consequences ng parenting style na to. Meron akong kakilala during na admit ako. So, wala siyang parents, pinapabayaan lang siya, and then yun, like sarili niya lang or lola niya lang yung kaagapay niya or katabang niya para makaraos sa kahirapan. So, walang disiplina, walang guide na nangyari. So, nabuntis siya ng maaga. So, now, yun, wala na. Instead na mag-aral siya, kasal na agad. So, yun ang mga consequences ng parenting style na iyon. The last parenting style is uninvolved parenting. What is uninvolved parenting? An uninvolved parenting style is characterized by few demands, low responsiveness, and little communication. While these parents fulfill their child's basic needs, they are generally detached from their child's life. So, alam niyo yung detached? Nag-detach yung life nila sa kanilang mga anak yan, kahiwalay. So, instead of i-guide nila yung anak nila, gawin nila yung responsibility nila bilang isang parent, sila yung una or sila yung role model ng wrongdoings, like unethical doings, kasi instead na gawin nila yung responsibility nila as a parent, ginagawa nila is wala silang demand, hindi sila responsible, small communications na nga, pinapunish pa nila yung anak nila. Pinapunish, pinapagalitan. So, ano yung magiging cause nito sa bata? Ano yung magiging cause nito sa mental health or sa life ng bata? So, yun ang isang malaking pagkakamali ng parents is hindi nila binibigyan ng time, hindi nila ginagawa yung responsibility nila as a parent, hindi nila gina-fulfill yung basic needs ng kanilang mga anak. Instead, ang pinapagawa nila sa lahat ng mga gawain is yung mga anak nila. Oo, responsible naman ang mga anak na tulungan ng parents nila. Pero, hindi ibig sabihin na ikaw na yung parent, ikaw pa itong palaging galit sa anak, pinapanish mo lagi, like pinapalo, binubugbog. So, ano na lang ang mangyayari sa bata? Ano na lang ang magiging future niya? Diba? Matatakot siya sa lahat. Matatakot siya gawin ang kanyang gusto. Wala siyang freedom. Ang puro nasa isip lang niya is overthink, or something negative, always negative. So, mapansin nyo, no? Yung mga walang ibang parents, like broken family, ang nagiging nila is like always na lang sila negative. Like wala na silang maisip kundi puro negative. Nade-depress, na stress, like nagkakaroon ng anxiety, nagkakaroon ng fear, so nagkakaroon ng trust issues, like sasabihin na lang nila, gagawin ko ba to? Like, always na lang tatanungin ng bata kung bakit ganyan yung nangyayari sa kanyang buhay. Like, oo, somehow, may parents sila, pero hindi naman may responsible. So, paano yun kung ang parents ay hindi mag-guide sa kanilang anak? Walang mangyayaring grow or something success kung ang bata is practical. Depende na yun sa bata kung paano niya i-handle, kung paano niya ma-face or paano niya how he or she weighs out in that situation. Kasi nowadays, ang mga bata kasi is practical na. So, instead na magstay sila sa comfort zone nila, yung iba naga-working student para lang makapagtapos o para lang maging successful. Ang example ko dito is mga broken family. One of my friend is broken family. Yung classmate ko before, and then, yun, ginagawa niya lahat para lang makapagtapos. So, the negative effects of uninvolved parenting is, these parents may even reject or neglect the needs of their children, and these are the parents who never seek out of any advice, my advice or any advices. So, hindi nila binibigyan ng mga advices yung kanilang mga anak, hindi nila binibigyan ng time, hindi nila ginaguide, hindi nila pinoprovide yung mga needs ng kanilang mga anak. So, instead of fulfilling that responsibility as a parent, pinapagalitan nila yung kanilang mga anak, sinasaktan, like neglect, and then you don't ask your child about school or homework. So, ang mga causes niya is hindi na tinatanong ng mother or parents or father yung kanilang mga anak kung how's their school, kumusta ang kanilang homeworks, pasado ba sila, may honor ba sila, kumusta naman ang pag-aaral nila, kumusta naman sila, okay pa ba sila. Hindi yun nagagawa ng mga parents kasi instead of doing that, they are doing bad things. They are so very neglectful parents kasi yung feeling na pinapabayaan lang nila yung kanilang mga anak, yung feeling na hindi nila binibigay lahat ng needs ng kanilang anak. So, kalain sa children or sa child or sa mga anak nila kasi ang magiging cause nito is depression, anxiety, introvert. Yeah, marami pang causes. The next one is you rarely know where your child is or who she is with. So, dahil sa pagiging neglectful parents, hindi na niya alam kung nasaan yung kanyang anak, sino yung mga kasama niya, sino yung mga nakakasalumuhan niya, sino yung mga nakakausap niya, at sino yung mga taong nandyan para sa kanya kung kailangan niya ng piece of advice. So, hindi yun alam ng neglectful parents kasi yun nga, walang pakialam sa situation ng kanyang anak. The next one is you don't spend much time with your child. So, hindi binibigyan ng effort or something. Hindi nag-spend ng time yung parents sa kanilang child in this parenting. So, kasi yun nga, there is no interaction na mahitabo kasi ang parents dito is ang iniisip niya lang is yung sarili niya siguro or something, makasarili, selfish or something, may problema na hindi kayang i-handle. So, instead of is hanapan niya ng solusyon. So, hindi naman natin magka-question yung mga parents according to their experience. So, that's it na lang siguro. The next one is mother-child bond. Mother-baby bond can be viewed as bodily, immunological, perceptive, and affective relationship. The maternal physical change of pregnancy initiates the bodily relationships which continues after delivery through mother's care and breastfeeding. So, paano ba nangyayari or kailan nangyayari ang mother-child bond? So, according to my research, nangyayari ang child bond sa first day pa lang ng pagbubuntis sa kanyang anak hanggang sa pag-breastfeeding and hanggang sa paglaki nito. Doon nangyayari ang mother-child bond. Kasi if nagagalaw-galaw yung anak, if nasa tiyan pa lang, magkakaroon ng interaction between mother and the child. Another one sa mother-child bond, mother-son's relationship. Why mother and son relationship is so strong? Because they provide emotional nurturing comfort and empathy. Sons feel secure when their mothers express love and understanding. This emotional foundation contributes to a strong bond. Gender role modeling, mothers plays a crucial role in shaping their sons' understanding of women. So, bakit strong relationship ang mother and son bonding? Because napipil ng ang anak niyang lalaki na secured siya kapag nandyan si mother niya, and napipil niya yung love ng kanyang mother, and then the understanding of mother. Kasi yung mother talaga is very understanding, even though the son is made a mistakes, because parents talaga is very understanding. And according to my father is ang anak is matitiis niya pa yung kanyang mga magulang, pero ang magulang hindi niya matitiis ang kanyang mga anak. And the next one is mother and daughter child bond. Bakit special lang si mother and daughter? Because these relationships are our first experiences of intimate connection with other humans. And the mother-daughter bond is unique. According to the studies, these have discovered that this relationship has more impact on a girl's future self-esteem and adult interpersonal or relationship skills than any other relationship in a girl's life. So special siya because dito mangyayari yung intimate connections with other humans. Kasi ito yung first experience ng daughter na tuturuan siya ng mother niya how to promote or how to enhance her self-esteem. The mother-child bond then is building on the work of Harlow and others. John Bowlby developed the concept of attachment theory. He defined attachment as the affectional bond or tie that an infant forms with the mother. According to Bowlby, 1969, an infant must form this bond with the primary caregiver in order to have normal social and emotional development. Father-child bond. Successful father-infant bonding during the immediate postpartum period has been shown to the several benefits for the infant. It also reduces cognitive delay, promotes weight gain in preterm infants, and improves breastfeeding rates. Also, father-child bond is a physical contact with dad is comforting and reassuring for the baby. Fathers sometimes underestimate their role. Loving actively involved fathers contribute to their children's well-being and development, strengthening their self-esteem. So, kung sa Pilipino pa is, ang father is ang ama ng tahanan. Tapos, ang mother is ang ilaw ng tahanan. Bakit kaya nasabi na ang father is ama ng tahanan? Because, siya yung magpro-provide ng mga needs ng kanyang mga anak para ma-sustain or ma-enhance ang good relationship and good life in this world. Father and the daughter relationship is unique and unbeatable. They share secret understanding for each other that makes the bond beautiful. Father sees his mother and sister in his daughter, and this makes him to love, respect, and care of daughter more. So, ang father and daughter bonding is special. Why? Kasi through imagining that his daughter is her mother, her sister, so bibigay ng na-express ng father ang kanyang love, respect, and care sa kanyang daughter. Kasi that's how he protect or he loved his mother and sister. That is the reason why father and daughter is very special. The next one is the father and son bonding. The bond between a father and his son is a more just a familial connection. It's a pivotal influence that shapes a young man's journey from childhood to adulthood. This relationship is crucial in molding a child's emotional, social, and cognitive development. So, sa father and son connection or relationship naman, ito yung very crucial influence para ma-shape or mailabas ng kanyang anak na lalaki na ma-fulfill ang kanyang emotional thinking, social kumbaga sa kung paano siya makisalamuha, and cognitive development is kanyang mind. So ma-mold or practice ng kanyang anak na lalaki kung paano maging good son sa kanyang father dahil sa advices. So, nakadepende din yan kasi sa bata kung makikinig siya or maniniwala siya sa lahat ng pieces of advice ng kanyang father or mga rules and guidelines na pinrovide ng kanyang father. And that will be all. Thank